you desire in your business and in life. So welcome, friends. My name is Alka.
My name is Ria, and welcome to
our
show.
So Ria, without further ado, I'm going to pass the mic on to you.
Thank you, Alka. And today's topic is financial IQ number 1, making more money. And today we're going to discuss on principle number 3, which is emotional intelligence principle. And fourth principle is do not quit principle. So let me do my share screen. All right. So today, guys, it's financial IQ number 1, which is making more money. And today we're going to talk about the process, third process, which is the emotional intelligence principle. And the fourth one is the do not quit principle. So let us begin. So the emotional intelligence, we have a happy face, we have a sad face, and we have a mad face. Now that could be me happy, or this could be me sad, or this could be me angry. And another one that I forgot is flat. We have those days where we're just flat. We're not happy, we're not sad, we're not angry, but we're flat. Now, what the book says, there's a famous quote by Warren Buffett. Do you know who Warren Buffett is? He's one of the billionaires. He's one of the richest guy in America. And he says, that's a human. If we cannot control, oops. Now, these are all our emotions. If we cannot control our emotions, then we won't be able to control our money. So it's very important for us to learn how to control our emotions so that we can control our money. Now, just like controlling our emotions, this is also true for controlling our, if you remember this from yesterday, this is what I call process, the process principle. This is the trophy on the 4th level. So we need to control our process, because just like if we don't know how to control our emotions here, then we won't be able to control our money. So that means we also need to control our process. And what the book says, the hardest part why we are not able to, you may probably hear my 𝗕𝗵𝗲 on the background saying something, clear the wheels. So this is the emotion again. So if we're not able to control our emotions, the hardest part of it is why? because this is our emotion of being sad, the emotion of being flat, and the emotion of being angry. The hardest part of emotional intelligence is this. And this is why a lot of people fail. This is my cheese or this is my cake. And the reason is we actually fail. A lot of us want instant gratification. So we need to learn how to control or delay our gratification. So the hardest part is controlling our emotion, which is the feeling of being sad, the feeling of being flat, or the feeling of being mad. And a lot of times, majority of us, we cannot control delaying our gratification. We want our instant cheese. We want our instant cake. We want the instant money right away. So we need to learn how to control our emotion, and we need to learn how to do delayed gratification. Now, the book mentions, that's tomorrow. Let me just make it. And today, many of us, I'm going to draw it's my tree. I'm drawing clouds here. That's my blue clouds. And I'm in an island with lots of money. And then here too, I have a bag of money with just coins in it, or a few bucks. So many of us delay tomorrow's wealth. And what we do is we try to do today this earning few bucks. Many of us don't want to delay because we don't want the wealthy tomorrow. Instead, we sacrifice our wealthy tomorrow for a few bucks of today. So that's the emotional intelligence principle. Now again, I draw a flat face, a sad face, and an angry face. Now, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki said, emotional intelligence, the key to this is our financial intelligence. Okay, the key is the financial IQ. And when it comes to money, the number one IQ is not about going to school. This is the academic IQ. It's not about, this is me as a doctor with my white coat, or the professional IQ. The most important among all this IQ is our emotional IQ. Among all this IQ, when it comes to money, the most important, the number one IQ over academic, over professional IQ is our emotional IQ and learning to control our emotional IQ. Now, many of us, me included, we fail. Why? Because we have a finger here, another finger. And we have another person down here, still the same person, that's me. So many of us have a dream, but because we fear people pointing, blaming us, we fear failure, then we lose our dream because of our fear of failure. So we have a dream, but many of us do not reach our dream because of the fear of failure. So that is all about emotional intelligence principle. Now, the fourth principle is the don't quit principle. Now, Rich Dad, I think he was named Mr. Cunningham, Ken Cunningham, he said, so that's me right there, and another me right there. He said, we can quit, and we should never quit. Now the question is when? Let me just do it again. So this is a symbol. Just to give it a better coloring here. That's red. And this is my trophy here. That's my win. And this is a chessboard. As a child, I remember I loved to play the game of chess. And chess is like life. This is my king. That's my king. So Rich Dad I think his name was Henry Cunningham or Ken Cunningham. He said, we can quit when we win, but we should never quit when we are losing. So again, we can quit when we win, but we should never quit when we are losing. Now, if you remember this is the process principle. This is the trophy. And this is our bullseye. So that's the goal. And this is the process. Rich Dad says, our process is more important than our goal. Let me repeat. The process is more important than the goal. And why? Why is that? Now, here, that's me, and that's me right there. And I compare it to a game of chess. This is a chessboard. And this is a spoon. And this is a fork. This is my money bag. So why is process more important than goal? Why? Because here is why. Because when we learn how to solve problems, then we will never need to have money again. Let me repeat. Why is process more important than goal? Why? Because when we, that's me as a person, when we learn how to solve our problems, we will never need money again. Because why? Money will just flow to us. Money will come to us because now we are problem solvers. So if we solve our community's problem, if we solve our problem in the business, we are helping a lot of people, and we are helping a lot of people. In return, they show their gratitude by paying us money. So that's why when we learn how to solve problems, we will never need money again. Now, there are 5 reasons why we do not increase our financial IQ. And I will tell you them. Number 1 is this finger again. Number 2, this is a knowledge, and this is my pin. 3rd, this is a box. 4th, this is me, and I'm in a race. 5th, this is a line, and I can fall easily if I miss the line. So the 5 reasons of why we do not increase our financial IQ is, number 1, the F word. We are fearful. We are fearful that others would blame us. We are fearful that if we do something and something does not go in our direction, that we can fail. We fear failure. Second reason is we stick to what we know. We are comfortable with what we know. And third, this is a safety deposit box. We play it safe. 4th, this is me in a race. We never take challenges. And this is me on a line. We never take risk. So to recap, the 5 reasons why we do not increase our financial IQ is: 1, The fear of failure. The fear of failure. It's very big. Our fear gets control over us, and that's why we don't do anything. We have the analysis paralysis. Number 2 is we stick to just what we know. Third, safety. We play it safe. Fourth, we do not take challenges. 5, we do not take risk, calculated risk. So, if there are 5 reasons why we do not increase our financial IQ, I will share with you 2 things on how we can increase our financial IQ. So I believe my symbol of financial IQ is a tree trunk with lots of leaves, and in the leaves are fruits, and the fruits are our money. That's financial IQ. So we should look at it That's my beautiful eye with my long lashes. We should look at it as, this is me on a basket, and I have a big circle above me, and there's some strings in here, and there's clouds, and I'm looking down below. That's my telescope. So financial IQ, we should look at this as, we should look at it as adventures. And we should look at it as learning. Now, what we do is, so this is how we should look at it. Now, what we do is, many of us, me included, that's a person there, what we do, this is a box. That's a check mark. So what we do is, we play it safe, we do it right, and we do it secure. And one more thing. And we do not take calculated risk. So again, this is how we look. We should be looking at things. We should look as life and financial IQ as adventurous and as a learning. But what we do instead is we do it safe, we do it right, we do what's secure, and we do not take risk. So I'm drawing a seed that has grown. This is the soil. This is my sunflower. It has leaves in it. Put some leaves, make it green. My sunny sunflower is orange. With the rays on the sunflower, now my leaves. So the seed of my sunflower just started to sprout and spring up from the soil. And this is me on a stick. And this is me on a basket with a big circle. And I have the blue clouds. And I have what here? My telescope. So this is life. We should take a look at life as being adventurous and learning. So it's a learning adventure. Learning adventure. And we should take calculated risk. Calculated. We should take a look at life as calculated risk and as a learning adventure. Number 2 is the true intelligence. This is my party balloons. An orange balloon. I have a yellow balloon. I have a green balloon. And when there's party, my face would be smiling. That's me with fingers in it. And these are books, a lot of books. So true intelligence is measured. True intelligence is measured by the joy of learning. That's me with a happy face. We should not fear, that's finger pointing. We should not fear failing. We should enjoy learning instead. Wrong spelling. We should enjoy learning. So to recap, so financial IQ number 1 is making more money. And today I'm sharing with you 2 other principles, the EQ principle and the don't quit principle. So with EQ or emotional intelligence, we have the happy face, we have the sad face, we have the anger face, and we have the flat face. Flat face means we're not happy, we're not sad, we're not angry. It's just flat. Warren Buffett, one of the billionaires in the world, he says, if we cannot control our emotions, emotions of being sad, emotions of being mad, emotions of being flat, then we cannot control our money. So just like controlling our emotions, it is also true for the process. We need to control the process. And the hardest part is controlling our emotions. Why? Because of the cake, the money bag, the cheese. We want instant cheese. We want instant money bag. We want instant cake. We want everything right away. We cannot delay our gratification we should learn how to control and learn how to delay gratification. And when we can control the gratification, when we can delay the gratification, we are able to control our emotion. Now, many of us let go of our wealthy tomorrow for a few bucks today. Let me repeat that. Many of us let go of our wealthy tomorrow to enjoy the few bucks of today. With emotional intelligence principle, the key to this is financial IQ. This is my tree with green leaves in it. And the apples, the fruits are the money. The book says, when it comes to money, the number one intelligence is not about academic, where we go to school. It's not about profession, where I'm a doctor. It is all about emotional intelligence. Emotion is the most important intelligence. Why? Why emotional intelligence? We should learn this because why many of us, me included, we have this big F. We learned this in school. When you have F, what is that? Failure. You failed on the test. So we fear failure. We don't like if other blames us. See, we have all dreams. Everybody have dreams. But then all of us also have the fear of failure. Fear of failure. And that is why the number one IQ is not academic intelligence. It's not the professional intelligence. It's the emotional intelligence. The fear of failure. Now, the number 4 principle is the don't quit principle. Don't quit. Rich Dad Cunningham, Mr. Cunningham said, you can only quit when you win, but you can never quit when you are losing. Never. And this is the stairs, this is the process, this is the target, and that's the goal. The book says the process is more important than the goal. The process of making more money is more important than the goal. And why? Because if we learn how to solve problems, then we will never need money. If we learn how to solve problems, we will never need money. And why is that? If I learn how to solve my community's problem, what is my community's problem? The way I look at it, number one, the community's problem in my market, in my neighborhood, is apartments. So if I learn how to provide housing, more modern housing to my tenants, then I will never, ever have money problems again. Why? Because the people that I help solve their problems, they pay me in return money. They are so grateful that I solved their problem. So if we learn how to solve problems, any problems in our community, in our lives, we will never, ever need money again. Now, the 5 reasons why we do not increase our financial IQ are the fear, letter F, the fear of failure. Number 2 is we stick to what we know. And number 3, this is the safety box. We play it safe. Number 4, this is me in a race. We don't take challenges. And this is number 5, me on a rope. We do not take calculated risk. So these are the 5 reasons why we do not increase our financial IQ. Now you would say, so how then can we increase our financial IQ? I'll tell you 2 reasons, 2 ways to increase our financial IQ. If you remember, this is our tree with the fruits as the money. So the way we should look is our beautiful eyes. The way we should look at things is we should look at them as a learning adventure. Now, this is what we do instead. This is me included. I play it safe. This is my safety box. I do it right. I do what's secure. And I do not take calculated risk. Now, we should look at life as a calculated risk. We should look at life as a learning adventure. True intelligence is measured by the joy. By the joy, this is me smiling, the joy of learning, and not the fear of failure. It's the joy of learning and not the fear of failure. So that is my topic for today. I hope you learned something. Now, what do you think, Alka?
Amazing, amazing, friends. I hope you got a ton of notes that, you know, just by the illustrations, just by every point that Ria had mentioned. Ria, thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely fantastic. But a couple of questions that I do have, pointers that I just wrote for myself, was that emotional quotient, the EQ, controls everything. It controls every part of us. So that is the most important, and that is what I loved, because that is what we don't tend to think about that. And for most of us, we tend to think about, oh, it's the financial, but it's the emotional quotient that really is that deep-seated, that is the most that we need to pay attention to. And also I liked the process, the 4 steps that you had mentioned. So it's the process leading up to our goals, leading up to creating the wealth that we desire. So if we don't follow these 4 steps, then it's half the, that is half the problem that we need to have, right? So the 4 steps, I absolutely love that, because it is so important. So it's a journey, it's not a destination. And for most of us, we tend to like, oh, it's the goal. If we reach to that goal, then that's where we stop.
That is correct. And a lot of times, especially with the emotional intelligence, when we have the failure, we all have problems. Even if we're not in business, we all have problems. We're in business, there's always going to be challenges. And when we feel sad, majority of us, when we have that barrier, we give up, right? If we're angry, if we cannot take, the too much anger, the depression, the feeling sadness, right? Or just the flat day, it's not going to be always a happy day. So if we cannot control our emotions, then forget about getting to our destination. So the number 1 IQ is learning how to control our emotional intelligence, learning how to do delayed gratification.
Exactly. And so, you know what? So as you said, life is never going to be a straight line. Life is never going to be a straight line. Life will always go, roundabout, left, right, but it's up to us to make sure, okay, in those days when I feel, and me too included, I felt like this, I have done this, and I have experienced this, that when we have those times that it's not going in the straight curve that we want, but like Ria said, you don't quit. And in my experience, I've done that. I have never quit, even though in my hardest time, I'm talking about my personal life now, in my hardest time, I never quit. Why? Because if I quit, then I would not be here today. I would not be striving for what I am wanting. So friends, it's very easy just to quit. Doesn't matter what obstacles come in our way, but we should not allow that. So if we don't allow that in our personal, then the business is going to be straightforward. But at times when it's not straightforward, it's not in a straight line, obstacles is going to come our way. But then it's how we deal. We don't quit, we don't get mad, we don't get upset, but we pick up and carry on.
Now, there are two things that I would like to contribute to what you just said. One was don't quit, and the straight line, not the straight line. So number one, the don't quit. Now, there's a saying, don't quit because you're 3 feet away from the gold. So a lot of times we feel like quitting, but then we are not realizing that we're very close to the goal. It's just 3 feet from us.
Yes.
So always strive, always take action. It's always about the progress. There will be a lot of hard times. There will be a lot of storms, but never ever quit. Pivot if you must, but never ever quit. Number two, this not having the straight line. Now, at some point in time, people have shortened their success. So yes, it's never going to be a straight line, but if you can shorten the distance of point A to point B, instead of going from point A to point Z, if you can shorten that distance of point A to point B, either through mentors, either to attending conferences, either through reading more books or listening to our show, right? That will also shorten your distance from point A to point B.
Absolutely, 100%. But this has been so enlightening, and it's a conversation that it is so needed, it's so relevant, especially when it comes to the difference between financial IQ and emotional IQ and where people fail. So Ria, I want to thank you. That was so enlightening, so amazing. And so friends, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you so much as always for always tuning in and being with us. We love being with you and sharing our knowledge to you so that you improve in your business and in life. So we will see you tomorrow, friends. Same time, same place. Make the rest of the day the best of your day.